This conference will now be recorded. This conference will now be recorded.
Just started sharing my screen. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So my name is Ram. So I will be giving you a very basic or a high-level introduction about Salesforce today. So before we start, I'll just introduce myself. So as I mentioned, I my name is Ram. I'm working in Salesforce for close to 12 years, and worked in multiple areas of Salesforce like sales, service, even on analytics, and mainly into integrations. I'm an architect working in a well-known organization in the world with a team of around 38 members. And coming to certifications, I think I did somewhere around 18 different Salesforce certifications, which includes your admin, advanced admin, developers, advanced developer, sales, service, uh, some architect related certifications like design architect, domain architect, integration architect, security related, all those things. Yeah. So coming to trainings, so I don't have. I mean, it's been past 7 years. I am training people, and I have a very good relation with Career IT. I think it's been more than 5 years I'm working with Career IT. So I train more than close to 2,000 people in Salesforce. I mainly give online trainings. So yeah, there's about me. And today we are going to have a very basic intro, like what is cloud, in cloud, what is Salesforce, and why only Salesforce, why not other technologies, and what is the difference between your cloud and your legacy platform, all those things. And we'll see what all the what is the difference, or what kind of job opportunities you will have. Is it just because is it just like the other technologies will say that okay, you learn this, you'll get it, but I will show you with the numbers, which is given by the Salesforce itself. Okay, actually first slide is not that important. Let's go with the second one. So first thing, what is an application? I'm not mentioning, or I don't want to mention about any technology, but why do I need a software application? Anyone, any answers? No. So one general answer that I will hear most of the times is, hey Ram, application is very simple, it makes my life easier. That's it. Okay. Any example? Yeah, maybe a banking system. Whenever I want to transfer the amount from one bank to my account to some others accounts, or whenever I get the amounts. Earlier it was very difficult. I have to go to the bank, stay in a queue, give a check, or maybe a DD form so that they can do the transfer, or maybe a withdrawal form and all. So things are fine. But now that was little complex because I have to spend a lot of my personal time over there, at least an hour, to do that. But now it's very simple. You just do it through a simple application which is built by some XYZ organization for that particular bank, and you can use it on your mobile, right? So that is what the example that I will give as a customer, and that's the definition. But if you ask me as a developer, or an organization who will build the applications, for me, I'll have two things. One is, of course, this makes my customers, I will say, this makes my customers' life easier, and at the same time, this will become my bread and butter, or because this is a revenue generating product for me, right? Because I am building this application, right now. So how does this applications are built? So okay, even I mean when I search for it, so I have one small, I've seen a couple of things, especially on Facebook. If you see some watch some videos, there is one thing called 5 minutes craft. So what they'll do is they'll show you a small problem, and then they'll just show you a small bulb saying that, ha, okay, looking at this problem, I got an idea. How do I solve the problem? And they'll start implementing a solution. Finally, the problem will be resolved, right? So, for example, you have a vegetable or something. So to cut it, I mean, you have to break it. So then someone gives you an idea. Okay, use a knife. Kind of a very vague solution. So you'll use a knife. You'll cut it, right? Likewise, let us say now there is no application in the market. Let's say let's go to maybe a decade back. So there is no application which helps you to do the transactions. So then, so let us say I'm the person who is again came to a bank to do some transaction. I've seen lot many people sitting in the queue, sorry, standing in a queue for doing this, and I was also asked to wait. Then I just got an idea. Hey, why can't I build something so that these people will start using my application and start doing their transactions? This is what the idea I got. Then I spoke to my colleagues in the organization, maybe a couple of architects. Then we thought like, okay, let us decide some technology because any application it should go from a technology. So I have decided, let's say maybe it's a Java. So technology is decided, I got the funds, everything is done. Now I need to start the project. So around a decade, 2 decades back, there is no cloud. So I have to build my on-premise application, which means to build an application, I have to set up my infrastructure, right? To buy the server, install the software, start building the access, everything, and then start building my application. Which means, first of all, I have to make the define a system where I can start building my application. So let us say everything is done. If we see here, looks like simple blocks, but it needs a lot of investments. Especially first thing, buying a server, right? Let us say if your laptop is charging $100, then server will easily charge around $5,000 kind of, right? And when you are buying a server, you will have some capacities also. It will say that this server can maximum handle maybe 100 TB of space and maybe around 100 users, for example. So, which means at any point of time, 100 people can access the information from this server, right? That's the maximum limit. So, I thought, okay, I'm doing it for the first time. I don't see more people using it because they have to pay me. So, I built an application with a server capacity of 100, now released in the market. So, people started using it, and as it is the first application that came into the market, many people got attracted. So that 100 is gonna become easily maybe 500 in a span of a month or two. But I have a problem here, right? My server cannot handle those many people, or it cannot accommodate those many people. So what should I do? I have to increase the capacity of my server. Either increase the size of the server or increase the capacity by connecting with the serialized connecting multiple servers in a serial connection, right? So so let's say I did something, so somehow I have increased the capacity maybe from 100 to 1000, just making sure that okay, in future it might grow again. So things went well for a couple of months again the number of users got increased, now it got turned into 5000. So again I have to increase the server capacity. So things are going good. Now I have seen some person called Vishnu in my organization, or in maybe in my current maybe in my competitors. So they built a similar application with much more advanced features. Then what will happen? The people who are using my application will slowly come down, and they'll use the application which is built by other person, right? So which means I don't have any issue because I'm already into profits. But now what will happen is I have invested a lot on this, right? That ROI won't come because initially I was expecting 100, now it touched 15, sorry, 5000. So till it was in 5000 level, it was good. But I have invested something again later, right? So this ROI is not coming for me. Why? Because the number of users has fallen back to maybe 200. For the users, there is no issue in the performance. System will perform perfectly. But the problem is with the investments that I did. So to avoid this, we have something called cloud computing. So what is this cloud computing? So in cloud, what will happen is you will have a service provider. This person will say, hey, you want to build an application, right? Okay, come to my organization, take a license from me. I'll give you a space and you tell me how many users you want, I will give you. You build your application, that's it. First best advantage. This maintenance is gone for me. Second thing, if I need 100 users today, I'll pay for 100. Tomorrow, if I need 1000 users, I'll pay for 1000. Day after tomorrow, I need only 500, I'll pay only for 500. So increment or decrement on the size or the capacity of my server, also I don't have to take care. And other major issue here is when you are using your on-premise application is, let us say if there is any drastic change in the number of users, it that impact will be there on your application also. Sometimes your application might crash. That is what happened in a portal called IRCTC in India till 2015 or 16 actually. That is where people tried hard to book a ticket in that, and most of the time the website used to crash because it was on a legacy platform or an on-premise application built in Java. And later on, of course, it got turned into cloud now, so it's pretty easy now, right? So in cloud, again, you have three types of services. One is infrastructure, platform, and software. What are these? So here it is like infrastructure is your semi legacy platform, I would say. What it will do is, I'm coming halfway down. I'll give you a server, I'll give you a virtualization concepts, everything is taken care, networking will be taken care. But to build your application, you need a software. You build your own software. I mean, you come up with your own OS, operating systems. You build your own middleware to interact with an external system. You handle your own runtime issues. You get your own data. You build your own application. What I'll do, I'll give you a space. That's it. This is what infrastructure as a service will say. Any best examples, Ram? Yes, Amazon Web Services. That is why AWS is a little costlier when you compare with any other. Okay. Next thing is platform as service. What the service providers in using this service, what they'll do is they'll say, hey, I'll give you everything, but you build your own application. That's it. Apart from application, I'll give you rest. So if you're using platform as a service, you don't have to install any softwares in your system. You come up with an with a system with a basic internet connection, and uh, rest all will be taken care by the service provider. You build your own application. This is where the first footprint of Salesforce will be there, that is force.com license. So using force.com platform, I can build my own applications. Okay. And the next one is software as a service, which is I'll give you everything, including some software also, which means when I'm buying a Salesforce license, I'll get a standard set of some applications which are defined at market standards. They'll say if you want to use these applications, you can use them, and they'll say that you want to, if these applications not fit to your purpose, if you want to build them, yes, you can build them, because as you are buying the higher version of Salesforce, you will be getting the platform by default, and you can build your own application. Or now someone says, no, no, this application suits good for me, but only 60%, other 40% I have to tweak it. You tweak that, you customize your application. That is also possible. That is why Salesforce is more popular. Okay, which means it is giving you a flavors, initial flavors, and you can twist and tweak them according to your requirement. Okay, these are the common examples. Now where does Salesforce fit in? Salesforce says it has customer 360. So before this, can someone tell me what is a CRM? CRM is
Customer relation management
so, so is that an application or a technology?
application.
Okay, right. So it's not an application, not even technology. It's basically a process which tells the business how to deal with your customers. That's it. You maintain a healthy relation with your customers so that you can grow your business. This is what your CRM does. So, okay, instead of just asking you to maintain a good relation, it will defines a process. Let us say Ram is a customer who raises a case to a showroom where he bought a car around a month back. So it'll ask the showroom people to interact with Ram very often, or how fast they can resolve this case. Or let's say Ram is a person who wants to buy a car from a showroom. Definitely, it's not like I'll go to a single showroom and look at the car and buy. Right? I'll just inquire about the product in 3 4 showrooms in the city. And then based on that, I'll look into the models. I'll see what best I can go for. I'll look into multiple factors, right? If I just go there and look for the car and come back, and later if that particular showroom people are not contacting me very often, or they are not giving me a proper explanation about the product that they want to sell it to me, definitely I won't go for it, right? So now this is they play the place where CRM falls into picture. It will tell you how do I interact with the customer. It will tell you how do I interact with my inquiry, so that I can convert him to my business. So what are the different options that you have? All these things will be taken care by the customer relationship management, and Salesforce strictly obeys CRM. Okay, which means it has too many automation rules that built in at the backend, and we can make use of them very easily. So that is why, as I told you, it has some market standard applications. It has sales, it has service, marketing, commerce, multiple applications. It has analytics. For integrations, it use more MuleSoft. For employee experience, it use Quip, which is similar to your Google Drive. And then it is used even in multiple industries as well. So, Ram, what are the industries that are using Salesforce? More or less everything in the market. It is being used in banking sector. So, I will say Citibank. I won't say Citibank, Citigroup instead of saying single bank, because if you go with Citibank, you'll think only about bank. When I speak about Citigroup, it's there in financial working sector, it's there in real estate as well, right? So everything is completely dependent on Salesforce. I think 70 to 75% transactions of Citigroup is completely dependent on Salesforce itself. It's there in education industries. It's there when it is there in Stanford University. It is being used in Harvard as well, bigger universities. And how about pharma? Yes, it is there even in pharma as well. And life insurance in organizations like Prudential is one of the biggest customers of Salesforce. Real estate broking sectors, or go with oil and gas industries like your British Petroleum is using Salesforce, your Shell is using Salesforce. A lot many bigger organizations are widely using Salesforce. So Ram, what is the if that is the case, how about smaller organizations? Yes, it is being used. Why? Because Salesforce has a wide variety of a range of licenses. It starts from $2.7 per user per month to $400 per user per month. It depends on your requirement, what kind of use license that you want to use in your application. So I'm from Andhra in India, basically. So there is one small city called Vijayawada, which is our capital. So here, I forgot about the organization name, but they manufacture dupe sticks, and their annual turnover is 10 lakhs, just 10 lakhs, and they are using Salesforce. And one of the widely known travel website of of India, that is Redbus, they are using Salesforce travel agencies, right? So it's being used in, sorry, okay. So Ram, does it mean that Salesforce is used only when there is a customer? No, it's being used it's being used even for internal processes also. So I won't say Salesforce is a 100% solution for your problems, but I'll say that okay, if you have huge data, or if you have a data multiple data tables, and if you want to process them with a well-defined process in your organization, maybe you need maybe some approval processes, or maybe you need some automation rules, or maybe you need to have a lot of validations, or you want to mature the data from A to B, then right solution is Salesforce for sure. Okay, so these are the areas that you can consider. And Salesforce is a multi follows a multi-tenant architecture. So what is it? So basically, if you see this, I'm looking at an apartment. One second. One second. Just give me a minute. Sorry. So if you see this, I'm showing you an apartment. Here, if I want to have a swimming pool, consider that I have my own house, I have individual house. If in that house, if I want to build a swimming pool, I have to invest some crores basically, or some lakhs, very worst case, right? But if I want to have the same thing in an apartment, I don't have to invest that much because it is shared across the other people also, right? Or maybe the power that I'm using, or maybe the building maintenance, everything will be reduced, right? Salesforce follows the same thing. So it says that okay, if you want to use the license of Salesforce, I'll give you a portion of my server, and you can use each and every feature that I'm giving you as a shared resource, so that you can start using it in the dedicated space that you have. Which means, for example, let's say I bought a flat in this apartment. Now I can use this to my requirement at any cost. But as I own a flat in this apartment, I can't simply go and sleep in my neighbor's house, or I can't shout at my neighbor's house, right? So I have to be there in my own limits. So that is where even you have a limitations in Salesforce, and we call it as governor limits, to make sure we are not overlapping with any other organizations. So each and every feature that we are discussing in Salesforce will have a governor limit. We will discuss about it in future. Okay, and yeah, this is what I was speaking about. The moment I see a problem, when I get an idea, you get the Salesforce, build the application. That's it. So this entire headache is not there. You don't have to set up this everything will be given by a single picture, that is Salesforce. The tooling box is given by Salesforce itself. You build the application, and the best part of Salesforce is the moment you build an application, it by default you can enable it for more for all the end user gadgets. Either it can be mobile, or a laptop, or even your tab as well. So this is one of the common problems that the developers used to face earlier, around a decade back, where after building the application, users will say, hey, can I use this in my mobile application? That is where you have to hire a web developer, right? Where they can build some responsive screens for your mobile and all. But now it is not required. By using simple tweaks, you can build this. Okay. And yeah, so if you see this, so approach of development has completely changed the moment you start using Salesforce. Earlier it used to take around 1 year to build the entire application, but you can build some applications even in a couple of days also, because you don't have to spend too much of your time here, right? You can directly jump into the system and build the application, because you don't even have to install any software. And coming to security, actually this slide is misplaced. Okay, he is a CEO of Salesforce. Coming to security, Salesforce, for example, you guys are using, or you people are using Facebook, or you were using Twitter or Gmail, right? So these days, if you remember, let's say, even if I know your credentials, even of your Gmail or any of your Facebooks and all, I can't simply jump into the system and start using them, right? Why? Because as I'm using a new device, it will ask me to provide some verification code, correct? So it'll ask me to give some verification code. The moment I give a verification code, then only it will start doing it. But Salesforce has done that in 2008 itself. Okay. So if I'm trying to log in with one of your credentials, I won't be able to. It will send a verification code to to the personal mail ID with which the Salesforce has been registered. Only then I will be able to log in. And let us say if I log in, I need to extract the data. To extract the data, you need to connect to a tool called data loader, where it needs a security token, which is a combination of 18-digit character, which will be sent only when you request that to your personal mail ID. So by building this security is not possible, and that is where even if you search for Salesforce data breach, you don't even see a single news. Why? Because seriously, that data breach didn't happen till date. Okay, since 1999, the date when he started building the Salesforce. He is an ex Oracle employee, and Is anyone using Android mobiles in this session? Okay.
Yes.
Is anyone?
Yes,
Then
yes,
everyone
yes.
is using. Great. Then
Yes,
what
I
is
am
the
using Ram. Yes, yes.
super? What is Play Store? Sorry. What is it? Play Store, right? Android, it is Play Store. Yeah, correct. Sorry, I forgot. What is the Play Store? Okay, I'll take you in this way. Let us say I'm a college grad. This year passed out, for example. I think now it is November, close to November, right? Somewhere around 4 months, colleges will end in India. Now, let us say I want to connect with my friends, at least my batchmates. There are 100 people. So I want to do something so that I can stay connected with all these 100 people every day, just to say good morning, goodbye. What should I do?
Create group.
Hmm?
WhatsApp groups.
Super. But
Create
my
groups.
own brother is one of the world's best mobile application developer. So I told him this is the requirement. He said that Ram, hey, I can build it for you, but it needs 6 months. So that is where a simple idea is, as you said, I've installed WhatsApp. I went to my app store, installed WhatsApp, added all my friends in that group, in a group, started using it. Why? Why can't I go with the first idea where my brother said I can build it? I mean, he can build an application for me because time, effort, both are wasted there. I won't say it is wasted, but I have to give both time and effort, which I don't want to. Now, I think a couple of weeks back, WhatsApp was down for 6 hours. Everything, even Facebook is also, or Twitter, all of these are down for 6 hours, right? After that, if Mark Benioff said, "Hey, you want to pay $1? You have to pay $1 to use my applications every month." Let's say if 100 people is using this, how many people will start using it again, even if they want, even if they have to pay $100? Sorry, $1 per month. I will say worst case 80 people. 80% of the people will be ready to use WhatsApp even if they are asking for $1 a month. Why? We are addicted. WhatsApp is not just to send goodbye or hi hello, right? It is used for multiple purposes. So that more or less became a open communication, a very common communication channel for everyone, right? But I'm not speaking about these applications, but I would say I'm speaking about the app store, the Play Store, or an app store where you are installing. So what is that? What is this Play Store? What is this app store? A place where once I see a use case, basically WhatsApp or Facebook, again, these are again some ideas came for some person for communication. They build this, and instead of installing in multiple mobiles, they have pushed it to a marketplace where everyone can start using it, right? But by the way, Play Store, to be honest, it's a clone of your App Store. First, you got App Store. Looking at that, Google built Play Store, right? But you know what? From where App Store came? This guy. If you search for App Store plus Mark Benioff, you'll see the story. So App Store is the word which is even registered by uh, Mark Benioff, as he is a well-known a friend of Steve Jobs. He have gifted that App Store domain to Apple, and he came up with a new word called App Exchange. So in Google, you have App Store, sorry, Play Store. In Apple, I'll use App Store. If you are using Salesforce, you'll use App Exchange. So Ram, Play Store or App Store are fine, socialized. But why Salesforce is socialized? It's not socialized. You pay the licenses. Even here also, you won't get these applications for free. Not every application is for free. You will get some of the application for free, but not everything as well. So if you know the business case and if you build an application, then if people are using it, you will get the money as well. Okay, so that is where you have your app exchange. But unlike your App Store or Play Store, where no one will verify whether your application is right or wrong, but here in Salesforce, where the moment you build an application, if you want to push it to an App Exchange, you have a team called App Exchange team in Salesforce where they will verify each and every line of code that you have written, whether the UI is correct, whether the security is correct, model is correct, properly designed, whether you are looking into the data or not, all these aspects. And only once they approve, your application will be listed in the App Exchange. And if any organization have some such requirement, instead of building the application right from the scratch on their own, they can start building your application, which means you don't have to get a job in Salesforce. If you have a very good idea, you can start your own organization as well. One of the biggest things. Okay. And this screenshot was taken little longer back, like a little old, somewhere around 2 years old. But as the screen is looking very good, I didn't remove it. So 2019 itself, we have around 5 million applications got installed, and we have around 4,000 applications. But actually, this number, which is almost close to double now, which means these many people are using it. It means that you have good work as well. And this is the Salesforce Economy. Again, this was also a little older one. I will go to, yeah. It Salesforce started 2000 1999, and yeah, this is something which is important. So as of now, Salesforce is, I think, around close to, yeah, it is already a $21 billion company. So they are targeting somewhere around $35 billion company within coming 3 years. How does this matter for me? Does it really need, do I really need to look into this? I would say yes, because so I can see more than 15 people join this demo. So couple of you are freshers, couple of you maybe wanted to start your career in IT, maybe working in different domains and stuff. But some of you are from IT only, but into a different technology, maybe some testing or uh, uh, maybe from SAP and all. So why you are switching the technologies? Why? Because there is no good market. I'm not saying that, I'm not criticizing any technology. So only when you don't see good future in the technology that you are working, you'll switch to the new one, right? So before I go to any technology, first thing that I will search, because uh, I speak to mostly with my juniors as well. Like whenever I go to my native Vizag, I'll give some sessions on Salesforce in the colleges. I'll go to seminars, and I'll speak with a lot of. I'll go for campus drives. I'll go to these interview panels and all. So I'm a default interview panel member in my organization, and most of my juniors or most of my relatives ask me, whenever they want to learn a new technology, they'll say, Ram, will I get a job in this? Second question is, okay, let us say I got a job. So how many years I can survive in this technology? 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So for that, I had this question multiple from multiple people. That is where I got this slide. I thought like, okay, let me spend some time here in every session. So if you see here, within this 3 4 years, Salesforce is looking for a growth of double the existing value, close to double. Even if it didn't achieve, but it will achieve. If you see the growth, every technology will have a spikes, but here there is no spike. Why? Because Salesforce is not just growing vertically, it is growing horizontally as well. That's the biggest advantage of Salesforce. And if the technology that you are working is not falling down, definitely there is no fall down for you also, right? So that is why I want to show this slide. Okay. And within 3 4 years, Salesforce will generate a lot many of the jobs in the world. That is for sure. Okay, because that was given told by the technology what you call or I mean that is announced by Salesforce CEO, and which never went for which never fallen back. Okay. Next thing is about the course content. Okay, Ram, the stories that you are told are good, but what are we gonna learn? Sorry, someone is saying something. Okay. Again, so you might say, okay, Ram, good stories. You spent you somehow you managed 40 minutes, but what are you gonna I mean, teach us? You didn't show a single slide about Salesforce, or you didn't show anything single content about Salesforce skills. So what are you gonna learn? What am I gonna learn? That I will show you in the next session. Even if you ask me the question, also I won't show you now. So I will say this course is for two things. Uh, Let me open some Excel. So you're gonna learn two things: admin and the development. Of course, you will get the clear, close content from the consultancy. Dev. Because I'm not the person who believes in reading. I am a person who believes in practice. So I won't maintain documentation in my system most of the times. Now, in the admin, what am I? Or first of all, what is this admin and what is this stuff? So when I say I'm an admin, people will think about me. Okay, Ram looks after security or he looks after cables and all. Security is fine, but cables, networking, and all, that's not there in Salesforce, right? Salesforce itself is not asking you to do it. So, what I will do when I get an admin job? So, this is where Salesforce says an admin is a person who can build the application. I'll show you how do we build the app also. Okay, you can build the objects, you can configure, you can do a configuration changes by writing some automation rules. When we can validate the data, everything can be done by an admin as well, along with securities. Okay, and Ram, what is the prerequisite for this? No, if you know how this Excel sheet works, that itself is more and more than enough to learn the admin. Because why? Because Salesforce is an advanced tool of your Excel sheet. That is how I treat. Because if someone asks me, okay, Ram, what is the best tool that you have seen? You said you are working in the industry from past 12 years, right? So what's the best tool you have seen in the market from this many years? I love to say, um, I have the best tool that I have seen from this 1 decade is Excel sheet, because it does everything for me, right? I can generate reports, I can write some formulas. Of course, I don't know how to write the proper formulas in Excel sheet, but you can do that. I've seen my juniors writing it, and I can insert images, I can do coloring, all these things. But the problem with Excel sheet is I cannot maintain a security. If I have 10 rows and if I want to show only 9 rows to you, that you can't do using an Excel. That is where Salesforce is proficient. And I cannot write any automation rule. Like when a value is changed, let's say if I want to send a notification, I can't do that. Salesforce can do that, right? So that is why I would say if you know how to use Excel sheet, then it's very good enough to use start. You can start even using Salesforce as well. Okay, so we'll write. We'll think about how to build the application. We'll see about security concepts, all these things. We have multiple securities in Salesforce, so we'll see each and everything. And now the next question could come up is, Ram, you're saying that without learning anything, I can come and sit and start learning the admin. And here itself, you are saying that you can build an application, you can write automation rule, you can provide the security, you can uh, do any design the UI as well, then why development? Because in the admin is the place where you can do all the configuration changes with the standard user interface which is given by Salesforce. What if I need some customized UI? User says I want some color combinations. User says I want the change in the font and all. That is not possible in admin. That is where we'll go with the development. And at the same time, based on the transactions, the complexity of the transactions, there are some limitations in your admin. That is where you can go with the development. Even in the market also, you have two roles for your jobs. One is admin and the other one is development. So but to learn the development, so as I said, like to overcome the disadvantages of your admin, you're going with the development, right? Which means to learn the development you should learn the admin. Okay, so understand the pros and cons of admin, and then only we can start doing the development. In the development, of course, you need some prerequisites. You need to have a very vague or a very basic idea of object oriented programming. So I would say if you spend at least some 30 minutes before the development session starts, that is more and more than enough. So again, in the development also we have multiple concepts. For we will discuss about the server calls, we will discuss about the user interfaces, we'll see how to manage the data, we'll see what are the areas like triggers, schedule epics, batch epics, email services, synchronous epics, asynchronous epics, test classes, integrations, user interface like components. How do we invoke one component to another component? All these communications we will discuss in the development. Okay, so that is all. And the last one, which is very important, I would say, is I won't give you a project at the end of the session, like after completing this 30 or 40 sessions. So generally what happens is after completing all the sessions, people will give you a used document, which is a common image, which will have around 15-20 pages. And then they'll say that, okay, you go through this document, build your application in 2-3 days, and then that's it, session is done. I'm not gonna entertain people like that in my sessions. What I'll do is, for me to start an application, I need a very basic idea that I will bring it up in the first day itself. So from day two, you will start building an application in Salesforce. Because so the way I will go with is the way I work in my organization. Let us say if someone gives comes up with my with a requirement, if the business comes up with a requirement, then I'll think whether this really fits in Salesforce or not. If yes, then I'll start looking. I mean, I'll ask them to conduct a workshop. I'll sit with them maybe for a couple of sessions to understand their business process. Okay, first of all, I should understand the business. Then only I can think about the technical solution, right? Then I'll start capturing the details. I'll see what are the pros and cons of their existing process, how I can improvise it in Salesforce, and then after that workshop, I'll ask my developers. I'll give a very basic sketch to them, a high level sketch, and I'll ask my developers to start working on them by working on the low level design. Okay, this is how a real-time development works in any organization. If you have any experienced people in your in your friends list or your colleagues or or your relatives, you can check with them. So we'll do the same thing. First day we'll discuss about a business problem. We'll take that concept problem. We'll prepare an Excel sheet, a very basic schema in an Excel sheet, and then we'll try to resemble that in Salesforce. We'll start building that. After that schema is done, then we'll start writing some validations or we'll start writing some automations, and we'll see where and all the features that fits. So whatever the concepts that is there in the admin part, so we will make sure each and every concept, or at least 70 to 80% of the concepts are covered, because there is no application which will cover each and every concept of your admin or even your development. But whatever the concept fits in the develop in the admin feature, we will discuss and implement in the application. But there are some concepts which may not fit for the purpose, But we'll discuss about that concept, and we'll discuss some real-time examples, and we'll close that concept. Likewise, we'll discuss about the admin, and then we'll give a portion of that, and we'll see how we can implement even in the development. We'll cover that portions with the leftover parts in your development, which means by end of the sessions you must have a full-fledged application in your own Salesforce screens. You will be getting a Salesforce practice logins as well. Of course, I'm not giving you; it is for free, which is given by Salesforce, and which with some limitations, and those limitations are enough, good enough, so you can build your own application for the learning. Okay. Now, questions like interview questions. Ram, do you cover the certification questions? What are the certification you can go with? You can go with admin, either admin 201 or admin PD1, development PD1. So, post my sessions, you can go with either of these sessions, either of these certifications. And of course, so I will be discussing about the certification questions during the sessions itself, even in the integration question, even about the integration question, interview questions as well. And at the end, so basically to complete the certification you have to spend $200. You have to pay to Salesforce to write that certification, and I'll give you some vouchers which will give some discounts as well at the end. Okay, so that's all about the course, I think. Yep. Anyone has any other questions? Sorry, we go to this. Hello. So if you have any questions, we'll stay back.
Hello.
Yes, I Teja.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Sir, then what about the lightning?
Didn't I told you? Okay, I'm sorry. Actually, everything is in Lightning only because Word left the Classic in 2014. So from
Okay.
2014, everything is Lightning. It's
Okay.
all Lightning.
Okay. Fine, sir.
Yeah, because Lightning came into picture 2014, and every organization is working only on the Lightning features, not on the Classic. We are not going to discuss anything about Classic
Okay. Fine, sir.
because there
Thank
are
you.
some features where Salesforce stopped providing support itself. Okay.
Hi Ram.
Hi. Who's this?
Actually, when we created apps in Classic, automatically we can install that apps in Lightning also, no? In real time, in real time mostly we'll do Lightning only, but in Classic also first we will design in Classic, then only we'll go to the Lightning
Why?
app in admin.
No, no. Why do I need to? Why do we need to go with the Classic? If you are going, if organization is working only on Lightning, why do you need to design in Classic? See, end of the day, the structure is same. UI is different. Okay, and you have much more advanced features, and you have lot to learn in Lightning itself, where your career is based on. So why should we go with Lightning, Classic?
Actually, some my friend told me most of the managers will tell first create in Classic, then only should we have that option to choose that.
See, if you want me to discuss, I will discuss. I don't have any problem. But no manager will ask that because Salesforce has straightforward said that don't do anything in Classic because we are not going to provide any support. So once if you get this confirmation directly from Salesforce itself, then which manager will ask you to do it in Classic?
Okay, okay.
Okay, but I will touch classic concepts also. There are some concepts which is not yet provided in Lightning. So for those things we'll go back. But of course, end of the day, schema is same. Only the UI. So we'll see the classic as well. Don't worry. Okay. Any other questions? Anyone? Yes. Even if you are from non-IT background, you can learn Salesforce right from scratch without having any coding knowledge. You can complete the admin. I was expecting too many questions. Actually, no one is asking the questions. So there are roles like admin. You will have roles for admin. You'll have separate role for development as well. But of course, as the developer is a person who works both, they will have high priority when you compare with both the admin and development. Okay. Any other questions? Anyone? Yes, of course. So for freshers, there is a real good advantage over here because most of the organizations are not just looking for the seniors where uh, because they have to pay very high amounts, right? Like basically in Salesforce, you have to pay a lot of the people, the developers. So what they're doing is instead of getting seniors, they are getting for the juniors, that too trained juniors. If you got trained in Salesforce already, then it will be easy to get your job. Okay. No drawback if you have a certificate of Salesforce after getting trained, and they'll look for a basic degree. That's it, nothing more. Yeah, for getting hired in this development itself, in the even in the bigger organizations also. Classes will start from Monday, day after tomorrow, same time as today.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah, me know how many hours per day the class?
1 hour per day. It will take around 30 to 40 sessions to complete both admin and development.
Okay, fine. And a small question, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, me know what is the source for? How is the source for Salesforce in the abroad? The jobs in the
So
abroad.
I didn't get it. I'm really sorry. Can you repeat the question again?
No, how is the jobs for Salesforce in abroad?
It was really good. Instead of asking me, you just
Okay,
go to the LinkedIn and search for Salesforce in the setting the location. You'll see the number. It
okay,
was really
fine.
really good. At least starting this year, it's really good.
Okay, like you said before, those people are looking for freshers, and in the abroad also they're looking for the freshers or like experienced people.
See, this combination will be there across the world, right? Like across any country. Like
Okay,
it's there
fine.
everywhere.
Okay, fine, sir. Thank you.
So yep. So if you don't have any IT background, you can start looking into the admins. Because to be honest, I'm not from an IT background. I'm from electronics. So somehow I was asked to work in IT. So initially I got trained in Java for a month, but it didn't work out. Even my manager understood that Ram won't do anything. Later I was asked to test some applications which are built in Salesforce, and that is where I patched into Salesforce. And now here I am. I don't know a single line of Java when I started my job in Salesforce.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
One doubt, sir. I completed my master's at the year of 2010.
Okay.
After that, I am working in some private engineering colleges.
Okay.
Now I'm trying to shift to software side. This is the correct time or any problem in facing the future?
No.
My
You don't
basic
see a
background is
problem in
CSC.
it.
I know
Sorry.
the coding. My background is CSC only, sir. I'm CSC, PhD, CSC.
Okay. See, to make it very open, you should keep some. When if you want, when people will take you, but I'm not. I don't. I won't say that. You can't. You can't simply say that. Okay, I learned Salesforce recently, and you can. You no one can take you for a as a senior, right?
I don't want any
Because
seniority, sir. I want only
and
fresher only. Fresher.
no, no, no. That is what. So if you want to go for a fresher, like a fresher, yes, there will be openings. But I would suggest like at least just give some get some experience of maybe 2 years or 3 years experience, and then
Yes,
you can start looking. So that is where you can
yes,
easily survive, because till 2 years or 3 years you will be considered as a fresher itself
yeah, yeah.
in IT.
Anybody
And
asking what 10 years back I completed an asset degree.
yeah, yeah. So average salary, I can say from India, but other countries I'm not sure the Republic. So one of my friend was working. I mean, not working actually. He's owning an organization. They are ready to pay around very smaller. I'm speaking about a small organization. Okay, so
Yeah, yeah,
they
sir.
are paying around close to 2.8 lakhs per month per year.
Yeah,
That is for fresher. Now,
okay.
in my organization, we'll pay somewhere around 12 lakhs for fresher.
Yeah,
So it depends between the organization to organization.
yes. And also country. At least we'll complete one project, then only you can success in this any platform.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Any
Thank you.
other questions?
Sir?
No, any other questions? Anyone?
No.
Okay, then let's meet on Monday. We'll start the sessions if you're interested. Okay, someone is asking some doubt. Yapping me here. See, people are asking for a degree, whether it is BSc, BCom, that is secondary. They're asking for a degree. That's it. Because you're people won't see whether you are from BSc or not. They'll see whether you are trained in Salesforce or not. If you are applying for Salesforce jobs, okay, which is the basic qualification that organizations will see. And if you are good with that, that is good. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello. Sir, good evening, sir.
Yes.
So this is Prashant. Sir, can we learn this Salesforce even if I completed my distance graduation, sir?
Yes. See, it's all a tech.
Okay.
It's all
Why?
about a technology, right? It's a new technology. That's it.
Yes. Why? Because my one of my friend was not completed his. He is completed just 10th, and after that he's directly studied distance education. Become sir. He is. That's why I'm asking. Is he chance to learn this Salesforce?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay then. If you don't have any questions, let's meet on Monday. If you have any questions, I'll still stay for maybe 5 more minutes. Then we'll close up for today.